Hi, this is Carlos Cousins, and this is a sentence completion question. For this sort of question, what is key is yes, knowing what the vocabulary words and the answer choices mean, but looking for keywords in the sentence that might lead us to some clues regarding these pairs of words is just as important. So let's go ahead and do that first. The angry heroine blank her husband because. So this is a keyword. Because means that what's going to follow this comma is going to explain what precedes it. It's going to provide a reason for why that is there. So there's going to be a causal relationship then between the first clause of the sentence and the second clause if we divide the clauses where this comma is. And that's important here because we have one word in one clause and one word in another. So that's whatever words we plug in here are going to have to then provide the cause for why the angry heroine blanked her husband. So, though he claimed that he would support her ambitions, in reality, he always blank to do his share of the housework. So now we have though he. So though he here is going to be a clause that itself then is going to be um, divided into two from the though he to housework, and that is because what follows the comma is going to have to be an idea that is inherently oppositional to what precedes it. So that though he claimed that he would support her ambitions, what follows this comma then is going to have to be something completely opposite. In reality, he was always blank to do his share of the housework, so he didn't support her ambitions. So I'm going to go ahead and have a plus and a minus here, since these are opposite to each other, to think about the opposition between this part of the sentence and this part of the sentence. And then the third criterion then is just the coherence of the sentence, that should be kept intact. So let's go ahead and see how each of these pairs of words measures up to the criteria that we've set up. So the angry heroine acclaimed her husband because, so acclaimed here would be spoke positively of him, though he claimed that he would support her ambitions. In reality, he always failed to do his share of the housework. Well, here we have the opposition we're looking for, because if he's failing to do his share of the housework, he wouldn't be supporting her ambitions. But it's not really a good cause. If he's failing to do his share of the housework, it really doesn't make sense for the angry heroine to acclaim her husband. Should likely be angry. Wouldn't be acclaiming him if she's angry. She should be saying something negative about him. So that doesn't make sense. The angry hearing maligned. Well, here we have a word that means the very opposite of acclaim, so that this looks good. Her husband, because though he claimed that he would support her ambitions, in reality, he always hastened to do his share of the housework. Well, we have a good word here if we only look at angry, but let's go ahead and see if the causal relation is kept. Well, though he claimed that he would always support her ambitions, in reality, he always hastened to do his share of the housework. Doesn't really make sense. Him hastening to do his share of the housework has nothing to do with supporting her ambitions, and we can't really say that those are oppositional ideas unless we're making an assumption. So that doesn't make sense as the answer. Let's go ahead and see the others. The angry heroine spurned her husband because, though he claimed that he would support her ambitions, in reality he always refused to do his share of the housework. So spurned means that she's rejecting him, and that makes sense. Um, the angry heroine rejected her husband, spurned her husband because, though he claimed that he would always support her ambitions, in reality he always refused to do his share of the housework. Well, it does make sense. There's an opposition between supporting one's ambitions and not doing your share of your work. And if you ask the question, well, why does he refuse? Well, why is the angry heroine spurning her husband? Because he refuses to do his share of the work. We have a causal relationship, so that's why this is the right answer. But let's go ahead and consider the other two. The angry heroine glorified her husband because though he claimed that he would support her ambitions, in reality, he always declined to do his share of the house. Well, she wouldn't glorify him. She's angry, and it's not very happy about that. The angry heroine nurtured her husband because though he claimed that he would support her ambitions, in reality, he always reasoned to do. Well, again, this has nothing to do with the idea that he would support her ambitions. So there's no real oppositional relation between both sides of this clause here. So that doesn't make sense. I hope that helps with this problem. Happy prepping.